Sandra and his tea parties were not new, but he never attended any of them, except this time, where Arlecchino told you to come with. And so, you decided to join. There were many things about the guest list when it came to Sandra and his tea party. First of all, the Toria was not invited. That seemed to be the most important rule. Maybe there were other rules. Maybe you would know about them one day. But if there is anything that you know about, from how much Arlecchino talks about him, was that nobody really liked the Torre. And child, given how he visits every once in a while, well, even he doesn't seem to get along with him. Sandrani was particular about who she invited. But most of the time, it was just her, Senora, Colombina, and Arlecchino. Which is cute, considering this would be the Fatui equivalent of a girls' night. Except it was a tea party, and they were Fatui Harbingers. So really, it was not the same. You sat beside Arlecchino, your heart beating loudly in your chest. She had wanted to announce something, and although you were unsure of this idea, you were not going to tell her no. In fact, you were very excited about all of this, but also very nervous. You didn't know how they would react, and it seemed terrifying to just say this. Sandrani smiles thinly. I wasn't aware you were bringing a +1. Yes, you were not, but it was very clear you were offended from the moment you arrived. I saw it on your face. Colombina hums happily, spoon clinking against her cup. I don't mind. I like surprises. Signora lounges back in her chair, her eyes sharp. Well, what is this about? It's not very usual for us to see a new face. And I've heard some rumors, although I have nothing confirmed. So you'd best confirm whatever it is for us right here. I'll get to that in a moment. Patience, please. And then, without wasting any more time, she just says it. I'm getting married. The words are very, very straightforward. You perhaps expected a speech beforehand, but then again, you should have known. This was Arlecchino, and she doesn't beat around the bush. Colombina's smile widens. Oh, that explains it. Signora blinks. Once. Then laughs. You can't be serious. Then she looks at the two of you again. Then stills. You're serious. Entirely serious. And then Signora's gaze snaps to you. And it's you, isn't it? You're the one. You straighten. Yes, it's me. You chose my gathering for a personal declaration and didn't even bring cake. Sandrani says, crossing her arms. I brought transparency, and you value that. Not to mention, you have been curious. I'm quite sure. And I'm sure you wouldn't rather find out the same time as the Torre. Sandrani mimes throwing up. You don't know what her beef is with the Torre. But that seems quite funny. You're not really sure if you can laugh, though. You just stay quiet. And then Colombina interjects. I'm happy for you, Arlecchino. And we appreciate you telling us first. Truly. She says softly. And despite her being a harbinger, you think she seems very soft, kind, even. You don't have anything against the harbingers, considering that you're marrying one, but you also know a lot about them to know that they're not the kindest people around. Columbina just does not seem to fit in, although she has that aura about her, that mystique. And surprisingly enough, as soon as it's announced, the tea party goes on. Pretty normally. Chandra talks about her troubles. Columbina listens. And Senora just complains about some mission that Saritza had given her. And somehow, it makes everything a lot less intimidating. They're no longer sizing you up. They're not judging you. And life just goes on. They're not telling Arlecchino that she shouldn't be considering you for marriage. And although realistically they wouldn't have said that, somehow that was a fear in your mind. And once it was all over, and you and Arlecchino are heading out, she squeezes your hand. I could tell you were anxious, but you did well. Yeah, really? I felt like I was going to die in there. You wouldn't die with me being there. And they're not that dangerous. Only Arlecchino could look at 3 harbingers and say they're not dangerous. But you don't say that to her out loud. You just squeeze her hand back and continue walking with her on your way home. There are many questions on your mind. What Arlecchino would wear, where you should get your clothes tailored, how many people would be in the wedding. But last of all is what people would think. Because right now, you had denounced the people that you feared the most. And nothing bad happened at all. You didn't disappear. They didn't mock you somehow. And they seemed pretty happy with the announcement. And your only concern for now was to make sure that the wedding does not disappoint.